Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1740 of our daily content grind. It's a wheeled video, however, I'm throwing a twist into it. So typically for a wheeled video, I'm trying to do a list of characters, list of possible alt modes, and try to make sense of it. It's a little bit of a trick of my improv skills. However, I decided let's do something a little bit more straightforward today. So, as we all know, the Matrix of Leadership could choose anyone. So I decided today to see just how much of a disaster it could be if someone else were to inherit it. So on this list, I have thrown a ton of different Autobot names. It's not all of them. It's mostly focused on the first 3 seasons of G1. And I've left off a few more obvious potentials for leadership, that meaning team leaders, with one dino-like exception. And there are a few that have been omitted. I don't think I have anything to say about Skids, and I think every other Dinobot besides Grimlock would end up pretty much the exact same way. But basically, we're going to find out how screwed the Autobots would have been if they had chosen anybody else besides Hot Rod. We're going to account for what the Matrix did for Hot Rod in general as far as power and wisdom increase. We are going to assume that this is not just a passing of the torch, but like the Matrix chose you. You are the chosen one. You get all the fancy perks that Hot Rod got when he became Rodimus. So, with that out of the way, let us see where the chaos takes us. Our first spin. Ooh, that's colorful. This is a lot of color. I didn't choose any colors. Okay, we start off rather sensibly with Hound. That's not supposed to be making a noise. Oh well. Oh well. You can have fun with a little bit of noise. Hound, I think, is actually a pretty decent pull. He has a love of Earth. Here's what I think. I feel like his natural love of Earth would make him a better leader on Earth than Cybertron. But beyond that, he is fairly capable as a warrior. He doesn't really show any flaws in battle, on any kind of like technical level. He's pretty level-headed as far as Autobots go. If he's gaining the power and wisdom of the Matrix, he'd probably do better. I feel like seeing his Jeep upgrade into a Humvee when he gets the Matrix would actually be pretty funny. Okay, that's a middle-of-the-road answer. That's a middle-of-the-road choice. I want to see how screwed the Autobots would be if they get something disastrous. So let's go for disaster here, shall we? Okay, Grapple's a little worse. Grapple is a little bit worse. So with that one, I definitely think we would have a problem of not only has Grapple shown no leadership skills whatsoever, but also we have shown he has very bad decision making sometimes. While the wisdom of the Matrix helps, it is hard to overlook a part of, what do you mean you trusted the Constructicons? What do you mean you trusted the Constructicons because they said they were cool? Like, I feel like that should immediately disqualify you from ever reaching like the top rank, right? Like that is the kind of choice that holds you back from a lot of promotion. Oh my god. That is trouble. That was genuinely trouble. How much more trouble? There's some in here that are so much worse. So much worse. Let's see who else is here. Who else is here? Oh, these are both. Oh, Springer. Okay. Springer would be the cool action hero. Let's get this right. Springer himself is already very much programmed and designed to be like your Harrison Ford style lead hero in a movie, right? He is going to be a central character in anything else because he has like the triple changer trick, the swords ability. He has cool one-liners. Like, he would actually make for like a decent action. If this is a more action forward set of Autobots and they were a little bit more proactive in defeating the Decepticons rather than focusing on defense, I think you'd actually have a good choice in Springer. We know in 5 Faces of Darkness he was this close He was this close to getting the job. If the Decepticons did a little bit more damage to Rodimus, he might have actually gotten the Matrix. I don't think that's a bad pull, honestly. I had to get used to the name Springimus Prime, but beyond that, I don't think that's a bad pull. I think his action-forward personality and natural charisma combined with the wisdom of the Matrix and the extra power, I don't think that's a bad call. I really don't. He's like Hot Rod's personality, but more tempered, which would actually work. Okay, that's not the cursed answers I was looking for. Like, I put all the sensible answers, but I wanted... Now we're talking. Now we're talking. So, Grimlock is, in the Marvel Comics, already a former leader of the Autobots. He already has some kind of claim to this. But remember, I'm focusing more in on the animated side of things. Like, everyone on the wheel here was basically taken from the cartoon. So we're focusing in on that personality. And that personality, he does have leadership capability. The Dinobots are stupid, but that does not mean they cannot be tactical in battle. And it doesn't mean Grimlock is a bad leader in and of himself. Now, all of that season 1 ego that Grimlock has, if the Matrix decided he was the one, you would never get him to shut up about it. He would be so fired up. Like, his ego would be on, like, just like at an 11 at that point. I like the choice only because, like, there'd be fun chaos to this. Grimlock is already overpowered as far as Autobots go. You're going to put the Matrix in him too? You're overclocking Grimlock? That's dangerous. That's really dangerous. Hysterical, but dangerous. Very dangerous for the Decepticons as well. Jeez. This would be very much like frontline, like, we are going to war with the Decepticons kind of leadership. That would be like slash and burn, like rip and tear until it is done leadership. Probably questionable if they'd be better than the Decepticons at that point. Who else we got? Okay, there's some irony. There is some irony. Blaster is also a character who almost has some kind of claim to leadership from the Marvel comic books. So at one point, Fort Max and Grimlock were both vying for leadership of the Autobots, and when Fort Max could not make it to a challenge from Grimlock, Blaster was going to stand in for him. So Blaster and Grimlock have a history with this. Now, Blaster himself, not really aiming for leadership, but he doesn't make for a bad leader when he's put in that position. Now, if we're going by cartoon personality, which we are for this, again, I don't see too much of a bad side to him. This is not really a bad pull. The wisdom would probably temper his more juvenile personality a little bit. I would really be curious to see what happens to his cassettes if he gains an upgrade from the Matrix. What do the cassettes do? What does Ramhorn and Steeljaw look like? Oh, that would be an interesting shift now that I think about it. I didn't think about that when I put him on the wheel. There's more than one Transformer in the mix here. Okay, so that one's something to think about. I don't mind Blaster as a result, but there's ramifications I did not consider. Okay, so I spun again, but I realized how loud the applause is. I apologize for that. I muted that now, but I accidentally removed our option. It was Skyfire, and I love that choice because that is a fascinating choice. So for starters, if he gets larger the way that Rodimus Prime gets larger, you're going to be dealing with this massive, like, space battleship of an Autobot leader. But also, we have to account for the fact that Skyfire in the original cartoon is a glass cannon. He's huge. He is very powerful, but he cannot take a hit. Like, Skyfire goes down in just a couple shots, usually. Maybe even one sometimes. So I don't necessarily see him as a durable leader. He would be far more like a background general type. Now, he is a scientist. He does have a brain on him, meaning he could be very strategic. A role more closely linked to a general would probably fit him a lot better than, say, frontline fighter. But I don't know. I could see worse choices. I'm just imagining just like Galvatron stepping up to the battlefield, and then here comes like Genimus Prime, and he's 4 times taller than Galvatron. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, it's because God, that'd be such a funny choice. Oh, it'd be such a funny choice. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, Magnus would have been such a boring pull. I'm so happy it went all the way to Gears. Gears might be the worst. Gears might be the worst choice on this list, to the point where I almost didn't put him on the wheel. I almost didn't put him on the wheel. He already has, like, he's already just grumpy with anger issues. Like, that is not leadership material in the least, but the Matrix chose him, so we have to go with it. The Matrix will only work for him. So what else? What else? You have to go with it. Okay, what do we do with Gears? What do we do with poor Gears? Yes, I mean, a more aggressive Autobots would be a thing. I'm sure some wisdom temper. Remember, we know that wisdom absolutely tops anger in the G1 continuity. Anger types are weak against, they're 4 times weak against wisdom types, as it turns out. But in this case, you'd have to get through the grumpiness. And I feel like having the knowledge and the memory of literally like 11 million years of war might just make him so grumpy he doesn't do anything. I feel like he would just be like the most miserable leader ever. I think the Decepticons just win here. I think he just gives up. I think this is the Autobot leader who just decides to surrender. I'm too grumpy for this. Here, take the Matrix. This has ruined my life. Okay. There are some other funny ones on here, but let's see who else we get that we have to come up with. Oh, interesting choices again. So Mirage is not one that we had a whole lot of exposure to in the show, outside of the original More Than Meets the Eye, where we know he wants to return to Cybertron, but he does pull off the big heroic play that stops the Decepticons from escaping and saves the day. So there is bravery there. There is tactical ability there. We give him that. I feel like just because of his own natural abilities, this would be a leader who was more focused on stealth and tactic rather than just being even defensive. I feel like this would almost be like Minuteman style, where like you don't see like Deceptic, because the whole thing with Minutemen were like the English army. They're all dressed in like the bright reds. They're all dressed in uniform, marching through the city. And the Minutemen are all just in street clothes. So you couldn't tell them apart from any of the civilians, which always catches them off guard. I feel like it would be that strategy. It would be like Minuteman strategy, Trojan horse strategy. I feel like all the stuff against the Decepticons would be far more tricky than anything. And millions of years worth of pent up wisdom to figure out tricks would actually be a pretty good thing to have for someone like him. Okay, we got time for a few more here. I had to stop a couple times here, so honestly, I'm not sure where my timer is, but We'll go for a little bit here. Might rapid fire some of these. We'll do rapid fire round, just get through a whole bunch of them here. Inferno, I think, would be okay leadership material. We didn't get a whole lot of experience with him, but I think the important thing here is more supportive type leader. We've seen his relationship with Red Alert. We've seen how caring he can be for a friend. More understanding of the limitations and what Red Alert goes through. So I actually see him as more of a nurturing leader. I feel like he'd take care of his men in particular. Let's see here. Who else? Oh, is it going to be... Oh my God. Strict military behavior. Strict rules set, strict behavioral expectations. Prowl would be the by-the-books leader. You do not step out of line. You march when you're told to march, and you better march the way I showed you to march. He would be that type. Now, granted, in G1 cartoon, he's not quite as bad as that, but I feel like with the Matrix involved, it would be far more pronounced than it is here. He would be very stern. As Autobot leader, I feel like Prowl would be very stern. Oh, no. Never mind. I take it back. This is the Autobot leader who would just surrender. This is the one who would be so depressed. Like, tapping into millions of years of the history of the war all at once and seeing just how long this has been going on, this is the one who would just surrender just to be done with the whole thing. You would have to, like, forcibly just take the Matrix from him before he had the chance to just give it to Galvatron. Oh, that would be bad. That would be the worst. I love how Cup is just gigantic on this wheel compared to everyone else. Sideswipe, I feel like, is very much the same as Hound. He is very much a middle-of-the-road choice. I don't think there's anything terribly interesting about him making leader. Maybe a little bit more gung-ho, maybe a little bit more risky in his leadership style, but I don't think he's a good or bad choice. I think he's just like a, I don't know, maybe it'll work kind of thing. Very much in the same breath as Hound. They're done. War is over. Congratulations, Galvatron. You've got Cybertron now. We're done. Oh, there's no... Oh, my God. He would be the best poet in Cybertronian history. All that knowledge to build up rhymes. Oh, my God. He would be, like, listening to, like, the best of Shakespeare on loop. But as a leader, no. No leadership ability, no tactical ability. He's mostly a child, essentially. No, I think the Autobots are cooked. I think if Primus picked Wheelie, the Autobots are just cooked. Oh, that would be so bad. And I know I've seen fan art of him as the Autobot leader, but good Lord. Okay, here we go. So, Pup? That is a lot to put on a bot that old. That is a lot to put on a bot of his age. But look at how many battles he's survived. Look at how many threats he's beaten back. Look at how many places he's gone. How many people he's seen. Cup pretty much has handled everything the universe could throw at him. And even then, he still knows things like the universal greeting. He still knows diplomatic behavior. I mean, low-key, Cup would not be a bad choice in the least. He is on the old side, but then again, so is Alpha Trion, and look at how much importance we put on Alpha Trion. We do not disrespect Alpha Trion. But yeah, just outside of like the age thing. So maybe durability being an issue, maybe stress of job being an issue, but for the most part, I don't think Cup's a bad choice. I think, I genuinely think Cup would be able to handle it. I didn't think about that before it came up. I put him on the list just because it's a name that came to mind, but man, that would actually play out well. Okay, let's see what we can get. Yeah. In contrast, he is going to assume everyone is out to get the Matrix. Autobot, Decepticon alike. He is going to recharge with one eye open for the rest of his life. I think the Matrix having the most powerful relic in the universe inside his chest is just going to drive him over the limit. He is going to lose his mind. He is going to just be paranoid of everyone and everything around him. Like, you wouldn't even, here's the thing, you wouldn't even be able to get the Matrix away from him because he is so alert and so ready for whatever, like for anyone and everyone to backstab him at any moment. He's going to be ready for you if you try to take it from him. Even if you're doing it for the good of the Autobots, you're not going to be able to get it away. He's just going to be like hiding in a bunker somewhere deep into Cybertron. You're never going to be able to see him again. The Matrix will be lost to time. Oh, this would be this. I take another statement back. This would be the worst. This would be the worst. Oh my God. I don't think I can top that. I don't think I can top that. There's other funny scenarios on here. Like, okay, if Metroplex got it, good Lord. The size that he would be and also be the leader of the Autobots. Jazz is more natural. RC, I think, is cut out for it. Wreck-Gar would force the entire Autobot army to start learning 60s and 70s television references. It wouldn't be pretty. But, I don't know. I thought that was a fun little thought experiment to try out. I haven't done a wheel in a while, and I thought this is a little bit more of a twist to it. So, let me know what you thought in the comments below. This is me trying out something different. So, I'm eager for your feedback. But, as always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.